How are you?
Hi, everybody. How are you today? I put up the wrong sign. Here we go. This is a sad video that I'm going to do today. Can you guys hear me good? In the chat, someone let me know if you could hear me. Okay, good. All right. This is a sad video today. Very, very sad because I have to tell the truth about what really went on behind the scenes with this funeral mess. But I'm going to start out by saying this. I've been a blogger for a while now. I know how to run a channel. I know how to word something in a way that I don't become liable. I'm not afraid of lawsuits. I've been sued before by a 90-Day Fiancé cast member in which they ended up owing me thousands of dollars because I know what I'm doing. I'm not the kind of person I'm not malicious, and I don't try to humiliate anybody. It's just what it is. I'm allowed to give my opinions. This is a gossip and rumor channel, which we talk about gossip and rumors, and we get into deep conversations. So I want to start out by saying that because Towanda Braxton is losing it. She's threatening to sue me. We'll get to that in a minute. This is a very sensitive topic. I'm a fan of the Braxtons minus Towanda. I adore Traci. If you've seen my previous videos, I was shook when she passed away. Very, very shook. So this is not intended to start any kind of war with the Braxtons. This is a story that we're telling. With that being said, let's get into it. So I'm going to start out with, the Toni Braxton went on Tamron Hall. I had a brain freeze. She went on Tamron Hall, and this is what she had to say about the situation, her sister passing away. Notice she did not bring up the funeral. She did not bring up if her family, the sisters, were in attendance. But this is what she had to say about it. Let me put up my sign, and here we go.
Savor that moment with her and talk and laugh and giggle, and all my sisters and I, my parents, we all rallied together, and my brother, and we were in the DC area, and we were just there all the time with her. So we got to see her take her last breath. We're sisters, so we're always going to fight. That's what sisters do, okay? It's the rite of passage to fuss and fight, but in the end, we're always there. And I'm happy that I'm here, and I'm happy that I get to talk about it. And her birthday's coming up soon on the 2nd, and my sisters and I, we're going to celebrate and have a big Traci that day thingy.
Okay, that's what she said about the whole situation. Now, some of the things she said were accurate. They were there. The rumors are that they were there every step of the way when Traci was sick, especially Tamar. I've talked about this in my previous videos. Tamar went over and beyond. These are the rumors. This is what we're being told. This is what's out there. She went over and beyond. Also, she did not mention being at that funeral because the rumors are they were not at that funeral. Also, she said that on April 2nd, they were going to have Traci Day. This does not mean that they're planning another funeral. I don't know what Traci Day means. It can mean anything, but she did not specifically say that they're having another funeral April 2nd. So I wanted to clear that up. A lot of people think that the family is going to have a second funeral. Now, I made a video about this in which I said that the Braxtons were not at the Braxton sisters were at the funeral. The only people of the family who was there was the father, his wife, and Michael Jr. The sisters did not attend this wedding, this funeral. And it was a funeral that was specially designed, for them to come. Now, let's talk about the rumors that ended up coming out on page 6. Let me put this up. It ended up coming out on page 6, but I reported this before anyone else did because I had a tip. I'll put it that way. But what I said in this video that got Towanda all in a tizzy, she was in a tizzy. Let me talk about that. But let me put this up first to let you know that it's now being reported. Everything that I said came out on page 6. So what are you going to sue page 6 now, Towanda? Let's go over what I said. So I said they didn't come to the funeral. I said that there has been tension since before Traci got sick with Kevin. They don't like her husband. I said that, and this was also in the article on page 6. I said that Traci left everything to her son, made him the executor because she wanted things done a certain way, and she didn't want her sisters to come back and undo what she had planned. So she was, in a way, she kind of predicted what happened was going to happen. I said that there were some people that didn't like her boyfriend, Sean. I'm going to go into details about this in a minute. Let me tell you what I woke up to the next day after I did that video. Now, most cast members, if they see something that I said in a blog that wasn't true, they'll usually contact me privately and say, this is not true. And they'll either tell me this is my side of the story or this is what really happened or something like that. Because most bloggers, and I don't know if you guys remember this, PK came out and said, it's not wise to make an enemy out of a blogger. It's just not wise to do it. Towanda didn't get the memo. Woke up the next morning, she texted me. I'm suing you. You're a liar. You're making up lies. And I was like, okay, she's upset. And usually when they're upset, I reach out to them. But before I could reach out, she was in my comment section on Instagram. It was the damnedest thing. I never seen anything like it. She was in my comment section. Let me put this up. I'm like, what? Huh? First of all, there were people out there saying, you're making this up. They were at the funeral. They wouldn't do each other like that. They loved each other. I understand the public being in their feelings because maybe you had a different opinion of what happened or who these people are. But we don't know these people. This is what we see on TV. So I woke up. She's all in my comment section. Here, this one's first. They're out of order. She says, I'm going to sue you. Buckle up, buddy. Buckle up for the ride. I don't know what I did with that comment. These are still up. I did not take them down. Buckle up. You can't say anything that you want to say. Huh? I've never, ever had a talent openly go in public and just want to start a feud with me. I'm like, what? Okay. Call my attorney. I'm like, what? Show him the video. He's like, leave it up. You didn't do anything wrong. So I didn't respond at first. And then didn't Towanda get out a few years ago for stealing Mama Evelyn's Social Security checks? I haven't heard that. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, something's wrong with this woman. I've never seen anyone act like this. So I got the text messages out of order here. I don't know. So I'm just going to read them to you as they are. I'm going to have our attorney send you an official letter for defamation and slander. As you know, as a blogger, you can't say what you want. Yes, I can. What I can't do is lie on you. What I can't do is, I don't know, start trouble or defamation. Like if I'm just constantly doing the videos about this person to intentionally make them look bad, that's defamation, which is hard to prove. I know. It's very hard to prove. But I can have opinions all day long. If I want to say that your boyfriend is weirdo, I'm allowed to say that. So I said, are you serious right now? You're really in my comment section to start a beef with me? This has never happened before. And I've been blogging for years. Never happened before. I said, how old are you again? Isn't it about time to grow up? Because I'm in shock. Like, you're in my comment section. No DM, no private email. This is where this conversation usually takes place. You're out in private, public. But my turn says, don't take it down. You did nothing wrong, so I didn't take it down. So she goes on and on and on. And I'm just reading the important ones. You can go back if you're that interested and read all of them. Because she's got all these people saying, we knew you wouldn't not go to your sister's funeral. We knew she was lying. We knew you'd be there. You guys are so close. I didn't respond. I'm like, whatever. Fine. Okay. So she says, so she gets this person. Oh, anyway, she keeps going. She's emailing me. She's bugging out. So then, and it went on for days. She says, so you delete my comments? Shame on you. You, as we are grieving our beloved sister every day, I'm grieving, and yet here you are. I'm like, you're the one bugging me. And if you are grieving, who has time to do this? So I said, Towanda, no one deleted your comments. I'm just no responding. I meant not, typo. I'm just not responding. How do I look arguing with you about something that was said in a video, going back and forth? What? Huh? I said, this is a very difficult time for your family right now. I don't think you're realizing what you're doing. I've never had anybody do this before, especially at this sensitive time. Your sister just passed. And I know on my videos, I was like, devastated. I cried when I was telling you guys that Traci passed away. I also was saying that they didn't attend the funeral, but we don't know why. No one jumped to conclusions. I was very careful in that video. And I was very careful because I respect the Braxtons. Even though I knew different. And I held back on that video. And that's what we're going to get to in a minute. I said, you don't realize what you're doing right now. Out of respect for Traci, I don't want to go back and forth. If you DM me privately, I will tell you exactly who gave me the information. This is an inside job. I don't just hop on here and make up lies because I'm in the mood to lie. I said, I'm sure I'm not the only person they gave the information to. I'm trying to be very reasonable with her, very reasonable. V, shout out to V, who's on my panel, sees what I'm going because I'm talking to my panel. And I think I told a couple of people behind the scenes, like, what, look at this girl. She's sending me threatening letters. This is how it works. If someone's going to sue you, they send you an official cease and desist. Then the lawsuit follows, or they could just sue you. No one gets on and say, it's coming. You better look out for it. I'm going to sue you. That's not how it usually works. So I'm baffled. We're like, what is going on here? V reaches out, says, Towanda, Sharrell is a blogger. She is reporting the story as it unfolds because that's what bloggers do. She does not make up stories or falsely report stories. She tells the whole story as it unfolds. So please get out of her comments section. I'm sure you have more important things to do because you keep saying you're grieving. But at this point, you're harassing me in public. I don't know what you were trying to do. She was trying to get public sympathy, and she was being very manipulative about it because when people would ask, well, did you go to the funeral? She wouldn't respond. She's just a liar. She doesn't say what she's mad about. Well, what happened? She's just a liar. So she's being very manipulative, and I can hardly, function right now because I'm grieving. I was very respectful. Okay, maybe people grieve that way. Maybe they lash out at others. She says, Traci was a very loved public figure. People have an invested interest in her. So please let Sharrell do her job. This is what she says. So I'm thinking she's mad because I said that they weren't at the funeral, and people had opinions about that, and maybe she didn't want that out there. I don't know what she's mad about. She says, V, doing her job by spreading false accusations in regards to my daughter. Your daughter? What the hell are you talking about? You should research Cardi B and Latasha Kibi. She's talking about Tasha K. Threatening. Yeah. Tasha K got sued, and I'm going to sue you too. I'm not Tasha K. I did not lie on you about anything. That's number one. Number two, you're trying to bully me. Number three, I happen to know you don't have Tasha K money. My last lawsuit cost me over $100,000. You filed bankruptcy last year, Towanda. Yes, I have better things to do. I'm grieving. Well, go grieve. She's out of order. As her friend, you shouldn't support her this way. You don't say what you're mad about. I never said anything bad about your daughter. I said that Shauna was a weirdo. You can't sue somebody for saying that. And why aren't you taking the time to grieve? I'm not asking you, how come you didn't go to that funeral? And you have to have sense enough to know somebody inside told her what's going on. So what I think she's upset about is she knows there's way more to this story that I know that I did not report, and I didn't plan on reporting it because of the timing. Your sister just passed away. I feel hurt about it. I'm an ex-cancer patient. Traci's a cancer patient. Every time you see someone doesn't survive as a cancer survivor, you feel some type of way. You're not worried about that. I know what you're worried about. I know exactly what you're worried about. And I was not going to mention that. I will now. At the proper time. I will. I'm going to put you on blast just because you're a bully. What are you doing? Go grieve. But she's not just hurting me. She's hurting her nephew. Let's get into the story, people. So, Mysterious last night, page 6 releases this article. This is a damn shame. There's just no other way to put it. They released this article. Braxton feels sister Traci's husband and team are exploiting her death. Trying to put the message out there that Kevin, her husband of 25 years, been together a total of 29 years, like me and my husband. Me and my husband been together 31 years. It's no good. Then they go over a list of things he did wrong. That her husband and management team have are not fulfilling Traci's wishes. And I told you guys that is not true. From what I'm being told, Traci left everything to her son. She went over how she wanted things done verbatim. She left a letter to him. It's being reported that he told someone, I followed my mother's wishes to a T. You're trying to make him make a choice, this young man, between his mother, and he's an only child. He labeled her his best friend. And his aunts. Who does that? Who does that to your own flesh and blood? Anyway, they said there was a Zoom meeting, and Traci said she wanted this funeral this way, and it's not being met that way. Also, I reported it's rumors that they wanted all kind of things done their way. They didn't want the biker club there. They wanted this. They wanted that. You know, this man of 30 years has loved her. And let me remind you, it would have been an honor if he chose to ask you for your advice, but he didn't have to. For a couple of reasons. One, you're not next to kin. Two, she said what she wanted. Okay, fine. You don't show up because you okay, fine. You don't get your way, but you don't show up. What argument is that bad where you can't send Traci off the proper way? Michael Jackson passed away. He had a private funeral and a public funeral. That family was at both. Nothing's that bad that you gotta send your nephew on the stage by himself because you don't show up. Let me play this before I get into the rest of this. This is little Kevin at the funeral that I streamed earlier saying, and it was the most heartbreaking thing, I had to give my mom permission to let go. Do you know how hard that is? I don't think I could ever give my family member permission to let go, especially if I was an only child. I had to give her permission to let go. You guys aren't there supporting him. They had a funeral today, and I'm going to show you the pictures. They called it a celebration. And I'm going to show those pictures in a minute, in which the father came. He was there. But let me just give you an example of how much pain little Kevin's in.
I have much to say. My mother was my best friend. I loved her. I miss her. You know, when my mother told me she had cancer, the first thing she said was, "Kid, I'm gonna beat this. I'm gonna beat this." All right, Ma, that's cool. And I was at work when I found out the news. So, all right, Ma. Then the last time I talked to her about her being sick, I said, "Mom, you already won. You already won, Ma. Like, you don't need to fight no more. It's okay." So my mother's strong, and I don't know if she was trying to hang on for me, you know, baby Kevin, Liv, my father, but I know me seeing my mother like that was hard enough, you know. I love my mother enough to let her know, hey, Mom, you already won this fight. And like what, you know, David just said, I'm a shoot for the shooting stars. She shot for it. She aimed for it and she has it. No matter what.
He was devastated. He didn't want to see her in pain. And I've heard this before. I've heard people say, a person that was so sick hung on until a loved one came in the room, or say, it's okay, let go. Sure would have been nice to have a hug after that speech from Aunt Towanda, wouldn't it? Sure would have been nice to have a hug. And when I have to go in front of the public, be strong. Not only that, I have the full thing streamed on my previous video. He brought his mother's ashes in the urn on stage, bringing her with him. Let's go on to how they're trying, how this article, who, you know, it could have been an insider that decided to call Page 6 and just drag Kevin Sr. through the mud. They said that the only reason that the father was at the first funeral was because someone recognized him. So that the security guards turned him away. Someone recognized him and let him in. And even then, they sat him in the fourth row and he wasn't allowed to speak. I don't believe that. I believe the father was at the first funeral because he loved his daughter. So you guys have to remember, Towanda was on a show called Starting Over with Iyanla, in which she said when the father had an affair, she did not talk to him for 6 years. This was before Braxton Family Values even came on. When they first came on, they all felt some type of way towards the father, except for Traci. She had a relationship with her father. So you're saying, this article, the only reason that he got to come into the funerals because someone recognized him from the outside and he wasn't even allowed to speak? Also, this article is saying that Traci planned her funeral months before it even happened. Kevin will come out in this article and say that's not true, that he didn't follow his wife's wishes. I can't even read the Kevin part, but he says he loved his wife. It makes me cry. I can't. He's devastated about his wife. Someone had sent me a little clip that was the actual funeral at the celebration today. I can't play it for some reason. The file got corrupt, but I'll show you the pictures that were sent to me. They're also saying that Traci, this article is saying, had fired her manager, Cliff Jones, the one that was on the show, and that he relinquished managerial duties. Basically, he shouldn't have anything to say or do with this with the funeral anyway, because he wasn't even her manager. I'm being told that that's not true. He did speak today at the celebration. He was visibly distraught. He sang. I'm being told that they were very close, that this is not true. What else? So also, I'm being told that they were highly upset about how the celebration of life was going to be presented, that first funeral that they had on Sunday was specifically to make them comfortable. They didn't have all the people there that they didn't want there. They still didn't show up. Today, Bonji says, today Miss Evelyn was posting on Instagram birthday wishes for Tony and Trina's son. This is just a lot to take in. Yeah. Someone is intentionally reaching out to Page Six to make Kevin Sr. look like a monster. And that he's so bad a monster that we couldn't even go to the funeral. I don't believe that. Some people would say, I don't care how much I didn't like him. I wouldn't care who's at the funeral. I'm not sending my loved ones off without saying goodbye. It's a respect thing. You go out of respect. That's what some people say. I have known other people to say, I just couldn't go. I couldn't see her that way. I also said in my previous video that Traci was cremated, but I thought that sounded harsh. I just said this was the last time to be able to see her. But what I meant by that is that she was cremated. Well, today when they brought the urn on the stage, it's obvious that she was cremated. Yep, get her, Sharrell. That's why she mad. She should get rid of Sean because he's a freak. Take care of your daughter. People are allowed to feel how they want, Towanda. When I said that he makes people feel uncomfortable, they have that right. You can't control what other people think about him. No one said anything about your daughter. Shame on you, Towanda. Shame on you. And to be in someone's comment section like that during this time, what do you think? What? I can only think one thing. Something must be wrong with you. Who does this? You can't control what other people think and how they feel. Not happening. Let me make sure I got everything. Followed the mom's letter to a T. He is the next of kin. I mean, Who cares if you're in a, I'm just going to give an example. If she's in a white dress or a blue dress, she's not here anymore. Let me bring up my panel before I start taking questions. Hey, Perry.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, V.
Hey, Sharrell.
What's up, V?
Hey, Diva.
Hey.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Perry. Hey, Diva.
Hey.
This is terrible, isn't it?
Hey, Sharrell, real quick before we get into this, I want to give a special shout out to a Hotline member. It's her. Her name is Karen.
Oh, yes. No, it's, let me do it.
Okay.
I want to send a very special happy birthday to Carmelita Carmen Plankers. You called her Karen.
Oh,
Carmelita.
Yeah.
Carmelita must be Spanish. Happy birthday, Carmelita.
Happy birthday.
Let's talk about Towanda in my comment section first. What was that about?
I think she was just trying to bully you. And, you know, the darndest thing is that she's arguing, the video was about them not being at the ceremony, which come out to be they wasn't at the ceremony. So what is she really arguing about? And there's other things, because nothing, even if that's the case, you would just say one thing and bounce off. She was doing it like 24/7.
Yeah, it was days.
Right.
She was in my comment section days.
So I just feel like she was trying to bully you, like she's different than anybody else. If you do something, it's okay for us to have our opinion on it. You know, that's
right. And I'm not sure why she's so upset. I don't get it. You reported on the story. Page 6 reported on the story. I'm sure other places have reported on the story. You reported the exact same thing that they're saying, but yet she wants to be upset with you. Why? What is it that she thinks that you owe her, or that she feels that you shouldn't say about? Because when she's saying you're talking about her daughter, there's nowhere in what you said, I went back over it, that you were talking about her daughter. You were talking about her creepy boyfriend. And I think she's trying to avoid that and turn it around and make it look like you were trying to talk about her daughter.
Do you agree, Diva?
Oh, 100%. So no matter what somebody say, my sister just is gone. I ain't got time for nobody. I'm grieving over my sister. But you're all in your bag of feelings because you know what you heard. There's a whole lot of truth in it. So you're pissed about several things. You're wondering, how did it get out? How does Sharrell know?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what you're in your bag of feelings about. So this has nothing to do with anything else. You're using that as a smoke screen to try to distract. So get everybody on your side by saying, oh, you care about, why are you talking about my sister when you really care about yourself? You mad that we know about King Ladybug. Okay? That's what you're mad about. Okay. And the name itself speaks a whole lot of volumes, right? So you mad that we know the facts. Listen, somebody in your camp got loose lips. Not our problem.
Not our problem.
Right.
That's my job. Yep. That's my job. And listen, you're in the public eye. We're allowed to talk about it. You act like I knocked on your door. What's going on in there, Towanda? What's going on? Now, you're in the public eye. People have an invested interest in you guys.
Right.
Let's talk about the backlash they're receiving for not going to the funeral.
You know what, Sharrell, before you do that, and also, she wanted the public on her side, because if you was really concerned, you send it in the DM. You was out in the comments because you wanted everybody to just come on your side, but you never answered the main question. Why were you not at the funeral?
Or
no response.
Is this a pattern of when you don't get your way, you throw a fit, you pout? Is this a pattern? Okay, she's not in the white dress. I said blue. I'm not going.
Well, I'm thinking most people, if you say something that's not true about them, most people that have some kind of class, they would call you up on the phone and say, Sharrell, that video that you did today, would you please take that down? I'm feeling uncomfortable about this. This is not a good time, or maybe there's some truth to it. I don't know, but I don't want that out right now. And I'm sure you would have, before she hung up that phone, had it taken down.
Right. Oh my God. How many times you guys tease me about this? I'll think one way about a person, talk to them and like, oh, okay. No, I like them now. You know what I mean? If she would have said this, you know, it's true, but I don't want it out there yet, or it's not true, or I don't want to deal with this right now, I would have took it down. But the first words that came out of her mouth was, I'm suing you. Buckle up. Just so buckle up, buddy.
She came out the bully pen. She wanted to threaten you, scare you, bully you into doing what she wants you to do. Now, That's not a way to handle a blogger, Towanda. That's not the way.
It's not. Who makes an enemy out of a blogger? And then she thought the Tasha K line was going to scare me. You better check the Tasha K case. I did check the Tasha K case. Let me tell you what I learned from that. I learned that you can't lie. It comes back to bite you. That's what I learned. But I learned I could have an opinion all day. I could talk about the rumors all day long. I could let the public come up and answer questions and give their opinions. Lady D. Hannah says, Traci was the only one to have a lasting marriage. Her husband loved her. I never liked the subtle and sometimes blatant disrespect of Traci. Traci said this herself on the show. Mm-hmm. This is nothing I'm making up. They never had any respect for me. They always treated me wrong. And in my opinion, you're treating her wrong in death. You're treating her wrong in death. Would you want your son to get treated by his nieces, by his aunties like this? I'll tell you what, not on my watch. If that was my nephew, I don't send him to crawl through broken glass by himself.
No way.
You stay here, I got it.
Yeah, no way, Sharrell. You be by his side. You know, there's so many things that is so heartbreaking about this situation. There's no way. I have two sisters and a brother. There is no way on this earth. There is nothing that would stop me from going to lay them to rest. I don't care what problem I had with whomever. It would not be that big. And I would not have my nieces or my nephew trying to stand up before the people and speak without me by my side. Remember that Michael Jackson thing? Janet Jackson was up on that stage with their little nieces and nephews trying to help them get through it. You go up there no matter what. I don't care what beef we had. We're going to come together for this particular situation right here. And also what's so heart-wrenching is this happens so many times. The people hold on for their loved ones. They are physically ready to go and have come to terms with it. And they need a loved one to say, I'm going to be okay. Go ahead. It's all right. I love you. And to hear that her son had to say this to his mom, to his best friend, that listen, I love you. It's okay, you know, go ahead and go, because she was in so much pain. If he had to stand up there by himself and do that, I don't care what they say. In my opinion, shame on all of them. They were born and raised in the church. They should have been there singing the last song to their sister all together. A song, they had this song when they was on their show that they said they always used to sing in church, right? They did it one time on the show. They should have been there singing that song for their sister by their nephew. So for them to even say to me and Mama Evelyn, y'all was all born and raised in the church. What are we doing here? Nothing is that big. Nothing is that serious. Y'all need to tell us why you wasn't there. Why you didn't stand by your nephew. Why couldn't you say your last words? I don't care how you felt about the husband. You felt this about him all of this time and you was in his presence on that show. Be at her last moment.
I just wanted to say the only reason we even bringing this up is because of Towanda. Because Sharrell said at the very beginning, out of respect for them, we're not going to judge them. We don't know why they didn't come to Traci's funeral. We don't really want to get into that. I'm just reporting that they weren't there. That's it. Just reporting that they weren't there. We were not judging them. We were not trying to get into any beef with the Braxton family. We're fans of the Braxton family, with the exception
I'm not a fan of Towanda
now.
anymore, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, as of this week, no Towanda. When we say Braxton, we're not including you. So, so the thing is, we were not judging you guys. Whatever your beef is, whatever your problem is, we didn't really ask about that. We didn't really want to know. But you can turn around and thank your sister Towanda now that this is coming out, because she's got a big mouth and she's very disrespectful to people and don't know how to treat
she's better than. She thinks I'm a reality TV star. Let me tell you something, guys. And this is just truth. Most bloggers make way more money than those reality TV stars. Just point blank period. I found that out when the person from 90 Day tried to sue me. I feel that their reason behind all of it was money. Money. Now, of course, Cardi B, that's different. We don't make that kind of money. Well, I don't. Some bloggers do make that kind of money, but I don't. I'm not that up there at that level. But I'm way ahead of the Braxtons. But in her mind, she doesn't know that, so she thinks she's above. She thinks she can bully. She thinks she can intimidate. Thinks she could say the word lawsuit, and I'll go crying. This was an ugly. I was so disappointed that one of the Braxtons was acting like this. I love the Braxtons. Go back, guys. Look at my first video. I was shook. I could hardly talk. People were sending me messages. Are you okay?
Yeah.
I could hardly talk.
No, with that, with this funeral thing and all this, I think life is too short. And I think that, in my opinion, they're going to grow to regret this moment, right? Because they'll say that, we've been sisters and we fight. Yeah, you can fight over the years, but you got time to make up for it. At death, it's certain things you don't get a redo. And I feel like, just my opinion, and they can have multiple reasons why you don't go and all this, but to me, it's coming across is you didn't go to your own daughter's last viewing because of selfishness.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it's coming across.
Yeah, you get to have it my way, and then to see you, and even if you don't care about the husband, like Diva said, you ain't got to like him. I'm sure he know this over the years, but your nephew,
you gotta respect him.
What your nephew got to do with it?
That's your nephew's father.
Yeah, so it's just sad.
Would Towanda like it if they put her children in this situation? Let me read this super chat before I get emotional. Deneen Taylor says, she was treated like a black sheep in life and worse in death by her own family. Shaking my head. Real Love says, when my mother passed, her 8 brothers and sisters went after me ruthlessly. I had to change my number. Only one aunt didn't. Why do families do this? I don't know. I don't know. I will say this. It's not a good look. It's just not a good look. Perry, did you want to say something before I start bringing up callers?
Oh, yeah. No, just say one last thing. I think people, even with fights and you not get along with people, at certain times like this, in my opinion, that family should have swallowed their pride.
Yeah.
This wasn't a fight against the husband.
Right.
This is, and people are going to say, well, they're going to have a private ceremony. You didn't go to the last viewing. And even if that's the case, I'm just saying that you should have, I don't know, probably went to all 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion, but just that,
I would have, I'll say that. I would
swallow your pride because you didn't have your way. It wasn't the way I wanted it. I think it's sad.
There were so many oh my God, I wonder if I should tell this. I'm not going after the Braxtons. This might start a war. This is bad enough. Let's just keep this where it is. Hey, Andrea.
Hey.
Sound off.
We seen the Braxton, and this is their behavior. I feel so sorry for Traci's son and her husband. Traci talked about this for a long time. Not only did she talk about it, we saw it. How they treated her. They treated her like shit in life. And
Andrea, come on.
and they treated her like shit and death. It's called respect. I don't care if I don't like my sister husband. I am going to go to the viewing of her body. I'm going to go and say goodbye because of the love that I'm supposed to have for her. And I just feel like what they did, it was a shame. Towanda, you need to get your own house in order.
Listen, I said it on my last video. I'll say it now. Sean is weird. Yeah. Sean is weird, and I'm allowed to feel that.
And if she was any kind of mama, she would go to her daughter and say, let's have a talk and find out why her daughter is feeling uncomfortable.
Sebastian, sound off.
I think this is not right. Like, they should have went to the private viewing. They should have went to the funeral. I don't like this. This does not sound good at all. I really don't like this. And I thought that they would put this aside when she died. I thought that they would put their beef aside and actually go, like, you guys can still have your beef after the funeral, but just actually just go for the public to make the public see that you guys would come together in bad moments.
They had, at that funeral, they had all kind of gospel singers there and stuff like that. They know how to sing. They should have been singing, sending their sister off.
Exactly.
Make that make sense.
Yeah. But Sharrell, you know what? I see why Traci put her son in charge of her funeral business. You know why she did that? Because she knew that her sisters were going to act a fool.
Listen to this. This tells what kind of person Traci is. The husband mentioned this at the funeral. Traci has a tattoo of 5 hummingbirds on her back, one to represent each sister. I think she was meant more to them than the other way around.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, how come Tamar didn't go? How come Tamar didn't go?
I don't know officially why they didn't go, but according to this Page 6 article, they were upset because of the way that the funeral was going to go. They wanted it their way.
They wanted to be in control.
They wanted to be in control.
That's not how it goes.
That's why I said, was Tawanda's behavior a pattern of when she doesn't get her way? This is how she acts? I've never seen... Listen, I've been doing this for a year. I never had a cast member go in my public comment section with the intention of bullying me. Like, what? You're an adult. Use your words. Pick up the phone, go on my DM, say this. Can you take this down? You're not like, and I never had the talent. And maybe, and we have to remember, Towanda is famous because of who her sister is. She has not had one hit record, but you would think she did.
Control.
Debbie says, I read that they had a Zoom meeting. That's what they said. And Traci said she didn't want a funeral or a viewing. She didn't want anyone looking at her body. Plus, Traci said on the show that she didn't like Sean. I read that already, Debbie. You have to rewind the tape, and we talked about that. I don't believe that, not 1 minute.
I don't either.
I don't believe. Traci, I'm being told, the rumors, that she wrote down what she wanted verbatim in a letter and talked about it with her son. This is why she made him the executor, because she knew this was going to happen.
She knew that they were going to cut up.
And let's just say Traci didn't want a funeral. You are not the next of kin. If the husband says we're going to have it, then you're going to have it, and you better be there.
Exactly.
In my opinion. I wouldn't do my family like that.
You know what, though? The way her son stood on that stage and spoke about his mother being his best friend, if she didn't want it, he wouldn't have done it. He wouldn't have done it.
That's true.
I highly doubt that. That boy, you can feel it. You can feel it when he was speaking. He said, that was my best friend. I had to tell her, you won this fight already. Go home. You understand what I'm saying? He would not disrespect his mother like that.
Exactly.
So I don't believe that.
I don't either. They should have been on that stage. They should have been on that stage supporting that boy. But he just lost his mama. He just lost his best friend. They should have been on that stage together, supporting that young man.
Right, right.
Let me tell you this, Brandon. There are some crazy rumors out there that I didn't even talk about Sean. That's all I'm going to say. Sherry says, I'm sorry, but Miss Evelyn, being the Christian woman she's always portraying, didn't set an example for them. She held unforgiveness towards her husband.
Amen.
Amen.
All right, I got a long line. Is there anything you guys want to say before I start?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm going to drop you guys so I can bring in more calls.
Okay,
thank you, panel. I appreciate it.
Right.
And V, thank you for trying to have my back. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
And let me start bringing in calls. Thank you, Sebastian. It's always nice to hear from you. Let's start bringing in calls. I want as many people to speak as they can. Hey, Canelo.
Hey, darling, what's going on?
Hey, Mel. Hey, Lisa. Let's start with you, Canelo. Thoughts?
Oh my God! You know, Toni Braxton is one of my favorites, but to hear what Towanda did to you, because I never knew this. I never liked Towanda, and I see why now. Because
Towanda. Oh, hold on. Hey, AT2. We tried to, I'm glad you made it. Go ahead, Canelo.
I was just saying, out of all the Braxtons, Toni was always my favorite. But this, I don't want to even disrespect her, but Towanda, I was never a fan, and I can see why Traci did what she did. Because I was in tears listening to their nephew up there. I was like, how the hell y'all not going to be up for him when he needs y'all the most? But y'all are saying we're going to have a different, and I can respect that. You're going to have a different ceremony for her, but could you still go to the same one? Now, me, I probably could only go to 2. I'm not even going to lie because that's too much time for me. But
right.
I would just go to the one that makes, if my family was going to have it and if the, husband have it, I'll do that. But if somebody else have it, I probably wouldn't go. But it don't make sense for y'all not to be there for your nephew.
Let me tell you something, Canelo. I was a huge fan. AT2, did you hear the full story? How she was in my comment section clowning? I was so disappointed. I always said before, I've said this behind stage. I said, I never want to meet my favorite celebrities because it's such a letdown
Right.
if they're not who I think they are.
Oh, yes.
And I loved the Braxtons. I'm not going to, because of Tawanda's behavior, just assume that they all act like that. But I can't stand her. Something's wrong with her. She's a nut job.
Thank you.
AT2, I wanted you on the panel earlier, so we sent you a link. But what are your thoughts?
I want to address Towanda because I think it's a thing where, she is hurting, whatever, with what happened with her sister. She lost her sister. However, I think it's a thing when these celebrities expect you not to report on something. And like I said in the comment section, your initial video was very respectful. You weren't disrespectful at all.
I was in tears.
Right. Yes. I think what happens is that they watched a clip of it. And so they use one clip and then they go crazy over that one clip that somebody brought them and be like, oh, look at this. And she said this, that, And so it gets the celebrity person hyped up and they like, oh, yeah, I'm going to go in over there. And that's why she did what she did. Because she's at that little, and somebody sent her a little clip and then she went in and was like, you know what? I don't like that itch. I'm gonna give her the business.
Maybe not AT2. Maybe she's a jerk because on Iyanla, when Iyanla asked Toni if these weren't your sisters, would they be your friends? She said no.
That's right.
And I remember that. I remember that.
It could just be her. And now that you mentioned that, I remember that now. It could just be her personality. She just stank.
Yeah. She's a pitiful human being. What is wrong with you? You are not new to blogs. What I think, she did not want the public turning on her.
But I want to ask
so she thought she'll mention lawsuit, and I'll get scared and say, oh, I'm sorry, I'll take it. No.
Right. I want to ask this question before Mel goes. Mel, let me ask this question real quick, and you can go. Did y'all hear the Tamron Hall interview where Tony sat up there and as she was talking about Traci, she was tearing up but trying not to? Why can't Towanda do that? Why can't we see Towanda go somewhere and show us that she's in pain losing her sister, even if everybody thinks it's fake? Why couldn't you do that, Towanda? Why couldn't you just show us some humility?
Because nobody want to interview her.
They ain't.
Tell the truth.
Lisa, sound out. Mel, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think first off, I think that I was very moved. I want to say I'm glad I called in today because I saw the video you had earlier and when you were showing the ceremony, and you got so emotional.
The celebration,
the celebration, of course. And I was very moved by that video. So I'm surprised, very surprised that you came back and that this happened. I don't think that you've said anything disparaging against that family. And I think that, as I said in the comments before, I think Iyanla clocked that family very right, spot on. Years ago, every interaction she had with them, she read them up and down because there's a lot of things that's not congruent with their spirituality. They say they're very spiritual, but then so for me, it felt like they always negotiating something. Like this is not a negotiation.
Iyanla talked to them. TD Jakes talked to them.
Yeah, but nothing gets helping. I think that even they negotiating the woman after death, it's like, oh, we're going to negotiate how this looking, because that was the reason that the sister had an issue with them, that they was being dirty with contracts and music. So now that she's gone, stop negotiating everything. Stop controlling everything. Be vulnerable. Show up. Don't always think everything has to be right. When somebody dies, it's not perfect. Trust me, I know. So I think that, death is not perfect, but you have to not be in your ego, and you have to show up even if it's not right. You're going to be there for your nephews and your family.
That's your nephew. Did you see the part, Mel, when the nephew said, my mom was suffering. I can't. And
I saw that part. I know what you want to say.
It's okay.
You know what? I wouldn't go too deep into it, but I lost my mother a couple of years ago, so that's why I was very emotional.
I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. So that it does choke me up, and so like I said, you know what? Death is not perfect, and it's not perfect, and I think it's ridiculous, and they should know this, that in death, there's nothing perfect in it at all. All you have to do is surrender and stop being so angry. And you can be angry, but you have to surrender at one point and stop negotiating everything. This is what's coming off this way. I wanted to say this too. I want to know if Towanda was also, like you said, attacking other blogs, because the simple fact is the way you described it was very basic. It was not, it was not salacious. So other people have also talked about this, her passing, because it's very devastating to our community. So I don't understand why they would focus on you.
There are some, because she knows that I know what she doesn't want me to say.
Okay.
And I had no intentions of saying it. But I'm going to now when the time is right. We just had Traci's celebration. So I don't want to take away from that. No. I want to be respectful and send her outright. Lisa, what are your thoughts?
How you doing, Sharrell, today? A2 and Kilo and everybody.
Hey.
Yes. My thing over there is it's sad. Matter of fact, like a month ago, me and my sister had to sit by my nieces when they lost their mother. This is like a month ago. So it was my brother's children's mother had passed away unexpectedly. So you have to stand with them. My sister didn't want to go to the funeral, but I had to go home. I had to go home, and we both went to the funeral because our nieces. And this what him making me mad. It's making me mad. That's why I was telling you today, Cheryl. I was telling you today. I said, Cheryl, it's too sad for me because I love Traci and I love the Braxton family. And I don't think, and I'm gonna be real. I think she just lashed out, like AT2 said, that somebody probably sent her a clip what you had said, and it was like a little minor clip, and she just started lashing out. I don't think it's nothing towards you personally.
So you think that she just I should forgive her and just move forward?
Yeah, I mean, because she's grieving right now. I believe me, Cheryl. I believe me, Cheryl.
No,
I understand what you're coming from. I understand you come from where people come at you, and I can't stand when people.
No, I agree with you saying. You're saying be the bigger person.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you something right now. She's grieving and she's lashing out at anybody. She's lashing out at anybody. I don't think it's personal towards you. But it's like,
and that's the way you took it. There's also the possibility that she's just a mean, nasty person. So I have to figure, and that's what I'm leaning towards. Because you didn't read those emails, huh?
You're gonna have a battle, with that, because Sharrell, you got to think like, okay, do I just go in, or do I just be like, you know what, I'm gonna wash my hands with it? Us as YouTubers, as bloggers, we understand like the behind the scenes of like, do I let this go? Or do I go in and only you can do it?
I was gonna say,
listen, guys, I gotta cut this short today because there's a lot of people in here. So you hang on, and I will bring in the next group. Thank you, guys. Camilo, I appreciate it.
I need to talk to you before I go to have a beautiful evening.
I was gonna say, at the end of the day, Sharrell, you just do what's best for you. That's what at the end of the day, like whatever
Thank you, Mel. Thank you.
In your spirit, you just do that. That's it.
Take care, guys. Take care.
Hello.
So sweet. Lisa's very sweet.
Yeah, I love what she was saying.
Not so much. Let's start with you, Autumn's mom. Sound off. Okay, let's start with you, Sun Kiss. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, Sharrell. Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you. How are you, by the way? How are you for starting?
I'm laughing at Smoke, that Brianna's picture up there. He is wrong. He is wrong for that. I'm doing just good, Sun Kiss. Sound off. What did you want to say?
Here's the thing. For starters, I want you to know that when it comes to a person, regardless of what we are going through, you have to consider, first of all, the source. And regardless of what it is, a person's character never changes. I don't care what we're dealing with. You cannot negate the fact that when it is our character that is involved, that character, when it comes to our I'm losing words right now because I'm all over the place because there's so much that we've heard today. But you can't don't take this personally, because if a person, you're not her blood. You're not Towanda's blood. And the way that they consistently treated her all the way down to her death. The way, if they can treat her like that, and I don't want this to come into the fact of me judging her. I'm just saying, look at the whole picture. If they treated her like this down to her death, and then you look at someone that came through her birth canal, and the way that they're treating him now, forget about her husband, even though that was her other half. But just put him out the way. Look at how the baby that came out through her birth canal, holding her urn. And if they're okay with that, you don't mean anything. You see what I'm saying? So I just not trying to. I'm big on this. I write poetry, so I taste people's words that drips from their palate, and then looking at the whole picture. I have. And I'm just, again, my egg donor, I don't call her my mother. My egg donor is a narcissist, a malignant narcissist. And whenever a woman is a covert narcissist, don't ever downplay that. So my thing is, they have a lot of power. And let's just swipe left on that. Just pay attention to what I just said. And they have a lot of power over their kids. And we're going to leave that alone. So the thing is that, so you just know that if they could do their sister this way, you don't mean anything. So just please remove yourself from that and lick your own wounds just because of what she has said. And the thing is, whatever is going on with this guy, I don't follow them. I stopped watching them when Traci was upset and they pulled together as they always do at all these meetings. And when Tony said she had a problem with how Traci held her the motorcycle, she didn't do it feminine enough. And then she said, I feel I want to talk to you. And I'm leaning into this. And I'm like, what does she want to talk to her about? Well, you need to lose like 30 pounds because your stomach.
I remember that.
I stopped way back then. I never even almost winked at that show ever again. I saw then they were too pretentious, too superficial. And and Tony, listen, I get so tired of people thinking because people can grunt out of a gospel song, all of a sudden they're religious and they're Christian. Listen to me. Being Christ-like means 1 Peter 2:21, and I don't want to get preachy. He says, follow his footsteps. I don't care how many preachers and Bible thumpers that you have and you sit before, you follow Christ. That means just because you holler a gospel song, you need to apply the scriptures. Try that. Apply them. Don't just know a scripture. Put them in your life, and that way you won't be screaming and howling and then bullying people when the truth almost comes out, such as bloggers. If you sign on a dotted line saying, yes, I'll let the world into my life so that I can get $1, and when it actually happens, then you want to holler a lawsuit when it comes, and you have respected them. You could have been telling a whole lot. I've been watching you, and I'm not super, I'm somewhat new to your channel. And just the reason why I rock out with your channel, and I don't want to I promise you I'm going to try to cut this short. I've been rocking with your channel. I bet channels now because I've been getting bullied just because of what I've been doing with my poetry, because of Black women that are haters. I rock out with your channel, Sharrell, is because you're very loyal, you're sweet, and you're sincere, you're genuine, you're everything. And I'm no fluff. I'm so serious because I don't rock. I used to be like, oh, she's Black, I'm going to automatically subscribe by default. Nope. Stop and start unsubscribing. I'm betting it is a lot of haters with mods. It's a lot of haters just with Black women going against another Black women. I'm done. So here's the thing. You do not take this on personally. You flush all that mess. She's coming at you because of her character, because she's a derelict. I'm bad. I left. That's PTSD from childhood abuse. But let me come back. Here's the thing. This has nothing to do with Sharrell. Take this mess and you put it where it belongs with the Braxtons. You put it back on the whole family. And here's the thing. Things are seeping out. I don't care how much they try to sweep it back under the rug, keep it in the household. It's time for it to come out. And it had to be, unfortunately, through Traci's death. I'm so sorry. I've been crying like as if I've been knowing Traci because I see me. She was a scapegoat just as me. None of my I don't call them family. None of my relatives started with my egg donor. I walked away when I was 46. I'm 49. I'll be April 3rd. I'll be at 49. No one knows where I am at. They don't know where I live. They don't know my phone number.
Sometimes you have to do that. Sometimes you have to do that. Yeah.
I had to do what I had to do. I'm very passionate about this because this is me all over again. You kick that mess to the this is not a Sharrell problem. It's the Braxtons, including Traci. Started with Evelyn. Let me go because I'm about to get too bad.
I agree.
Okay, take a break. Take a break, Sunkiss. Okay. Sound off, Smoke. And you are crazy with the Iyanla thing. That's funny.
I mean, I'll put it like this: when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. So I think I think the way that they have treated Traci on the show and even in her passing, they're just keeping the behavior consistent. And so it's very, very gutter snipe like. And honestly, they are the sisters are a manifestation of their mother's anger. And that has like truly twisted and turned their perception of life. And I think honestly the sisters are probably jealous of Traci because out of all of them, she had what they couldn't have in their waking lives now: happiness.
Everybody's saying that. A lot of people are saying that.
She was grounded. Yes.
She was grounded. And it's like, yeah, go ahead.
I think Evelyn passed down that hurt from when the daddy cheated on her and stuff like that. She passed down that hurt to her daughters.
Yep.
And Traci reminded her of what she didn't have.
Yep.
How about that? Jealousy.
Yep. And I think they resent the fact that Traci was also close with their dad and his wife. And it's kind of like that. Traci know how to put things in perspective. Like what happened between mommy and daddy was between mommy and daddy. These are still our parents. And I think that played into their part of treating her like the black sheep because she didn't fall in line and she kind of just chose to do whatever. And like we have to stop thinking that because families not really, I don't consider family being like, oh, we have blood, so we have to like each other. Not necessarily. It's like family are the people you are connected to and are grounded with and who love you and who show for you no matter what and who always uplift you. So that blood ties mean nothing. And granted, yes, family may bend, it may not break, but that's not true for all families in this matter.
Okay, Sunkiss, your words really touched me, and I'm going to take your advice. I got to bring in more callers. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Sharrell.
And thanks for rocking with Sharrell's World, Sunkiss.
I'm at home. I'm at home. Can I go just bounce off one piggyback off what he said? Relatives are by default, family are by choice, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Ooh,
Thank you. I'm at home, Sharrell. I ain't going nowhere, sis. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Take care.
You guys have a good one, okay?
You are awesome. Thank you.
That was powerful.
Right.
Let's bring in. We got hi, Inspiration.
Hi there. How are you? Hey,
AT2.
AT2.
Here, AT2.
Hey, wow.
Hi, Corey.
Hi.
Oh, you got the sisters. Hey, Corey.
Sorry, Inspiration, you sound out first.
Listen, this is a byproduct as well as everything what everybody else has said. This is a byproduct of the Cardi Tasha K thing and the lawsuit. And I say that to say this. Now every Z list, D list, LMNOP -20 list, piece of a celebrity is gonna think that when a blogger says something, or anybody, any type of creator says something that they don't particularly like, or they didn't want put out into the streets, that they can lawyer up and be like, and they don't think that everybody is going to run scared. Well, we're not running scared. Nope. You're not running scared. Gemini is co-signing. You're not running scared. We're not running scared because you did nothing. You said nothing that was incorrect. You said nothing with a malicious intent. You didn't sit here and go on some long-term campaign. She just didn't like the fact that it came out that her and the sisters, for whatever their little reason was, that they did not attend this funeral, the service that their sister, let's be very clear, I believe that their sister left explicit instructions on how she wanted to be remembered. And you can't even honor your sister's wishes on her deathbed as she transitioned to go home.
Right. They wanted to do it their way.
Right. So that everybody could see and it could be a spectacle. It's not, that was not a beautiful service.
Yeah, it was.
But that was not about, you know what I'm saying? That was more about being seen than it was about remembering and honoring. You could do both. You can do one. I mean, when Michael Jackson, passed away, they had a private service and they had a public memorial. You know, Kobe Bryant, the same way. We can go on and on and on. That's normal. So why didn't you honor your sister? But you didn't really honor, I can't say never. You didn't really honor her from what we could see.
From what we could see, it did not look like they treated Traci right.
No.
Sound off, Corey. What were you gonna say?
At first, I wasn't gonna say anything because, it's not my place to judge their family feud. But I'm just gonna say this, and I hope Towanda can try and come in my daggone comments and see what happened. I think all this comes down to Miss Evelyn. For all of the other sisters, I'm going to say, except for Tamar, I'm going to say this. It was Miss Evelyn who sent down the word, we're not going. I had no part in it. I did not plan it. So we're not going. And I think Tamar didn't go because she's emotionally fragile right now. So I think that was really too much for her to handle, and it could set her off the edge. And she's just trying to fight back to be strong mentally and emotionally. I think it all came down to Miss Evelyn, who did not want the sisters to go because she had no hand in it.
Can I ask a question though, Corey? I'm not disagreeing with you. But you, we grown up here. All of us are grown, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to understand is, at some point, don't you, even as a grown woman, end up at some point telling your mama you might not be right here, Mom? I mean, I know I've had to. I've had to tell my mama you might not be right in this situation, and you got to stand on your own womanhood 2 feet. 1, 2. I having lost many, close to me. it was much easier to go to and attend the private ceremony than it was the public memorial.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but you would have went to one. You would have went to one.
I would have, but I would have probably opted for the
crazy.
private rather than the public.
And people would have got that. People would have got that. Melinda, sound off. What are your thoughts?
I just think that sometimes, you know, people lash out because of guilt or what they know they have not done.
True.
You try to pick away at everything that someone says, like, oh no, that's not it. But there is no reason for you not to go.
Ugh.
And Traci was a married woman who had a husband who she lived with, and I'm pretty sure she spoke about exactly what she wanted if it came to the point to where she can no longer make decisions for herself. Her husband, he followed those instructions out that she gave him. Now, as far as the mom, I think she's mainly still stuck and still upset that anywhere the dad is with his new wife, I'm not going to be there. We have seen that played out.
Oh, that would be deep. We've seen her do that before. That would be
have
too much
seen
for
that
me.
played out on the show. I wish they just leave me alone. They're not bothering you.
Right.
And for the girls, although the girls are now women, they still feel an obligation and guilt that the mom is still by herself. The dad has moved forward. He's been doing it for years, and he's not changing anything over there. And sometimes, you know, when you hear them say, yes, mommy, no, mommy, it goes results back to that
possibility that it's a huge possibility that you're right, because the wife was at the private funeral. At the private, she didn't come to the public one, but she went to the private. Oh, I forgot to show my pictures. Hold on, guys. Let me show these really quick.
Oh.
Yeah, so I knew somebody that was there. Oh my God, that didn't work out. Hold on. And they sent these pictures of, okay, what's going on?
Sharrell, while you put the pictures up, can I ask the audience a question?
Yeah.
Put a 1 in the chat if Miss Evelyn scarred these girls for life. Put a 2 in the chat. No.
Oh my God.
Let's ask the real
is
Here's my one.
Here, and then I got to show these real quick. Then I got to start taking questions. Hold on. Let me put these up. Well, hold on. Let me allow more people in. Thank you, guys. I'm going to have to change the panel really quick, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Don't let her.
Guys.
You let me know.
Put ones. Everybody putting ones.
Everyone's putting a 1. Let me put these pictures up before I bring in the new panel. AT2 is a mess. You had to get the whole in.
I didn't see no 2s. Everybody's
a mess. Okay, so these were given to me by somebody who was there. Let me take this down. This is that's little Kevin and big Kevin giving his speech, and the sister-in-law and the daughter-in-law, pardon me, and the grandchild. She has another newborn baby too. Traci had 2. And then they have the urn. They brought the urn on the stage with Traci's ashes. This is going to make me cry. I can't. Yeah.
I know.
I can't. And then the dad was there.
The
dad was there. There's nothing. No one can say he wasn't there. He was there. And this BS that Page 6 is saying sounds like someone told him this to save face. He was at both the private ceremony and the public. Let's see what other picture I got. This is the program. That's so pretty.
Right.
They got the sisters on there.
Did amazing. I love
Isn't that beautiful? It's beautiful. And then I was sent this. This is the inside, I guess, like, you know how they tell you, oh, it says something about about Traci. Oh, it's a little, I can't read it. It's a little thing about born and
right,
how many children she left and stuff. And I'm gonna put that on my social media, guys, if you want to go in and read it.
Yeah.
What is it called? The obituary? Is that what it's called?
The obituary.
Obituary. Yeah. That's so beautiful. Look how nice it looks. Oh God, guys. Traci Renee Braxton Surratt. That is turned out really beautiful.
Right.
Let me take a couple more calls and then I got to end this because we've been on here over an hour.
Right.
I
Well, you
can't.
gonna make me cry.
It's really,
Yeah.
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
Hi, Nikki. Hi, Buzz.
Hey. Hi.
Sound off really quickly. It's her eulogy. Okay, that's what someone said in the chat.
Yeah.
Called her eulogy.
Sorry.
Oh God.
I think
Nikki,
it was.
sound off really quickly.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I can.
Okay. I think it was really messed up that the family didn't come to the funeral. I watched the Braxton show all the way up into the strike. And then I watched that season where Traci came, and then I didn't watch after that because I had seen from the beginning how they did her. And she was always my favorite. And so, I just take it back from my own personal experience when my grandmother died, who was my best friend. My uncle's wife, who the entire family, nobody likes this lady. She hadn't spoken to my grandmother probably like 10 years. She shows up sitting in the front row and then had enough nerve to come in the house and wanting to dig in my grandma's clothes and all of that. But we took it. We allowed her to come to the funeral because what would that be?
That's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly. We go cause a scene at my grandma's funeral saying, no, kick her out. No, it's not about her. It's not about the hate. It's about the love and remembering the person that you just lost. So shame on them, because if anybody else can do it, they can do it too. I get that they don't like what their dad did to their mother. That happened decades ago. Their mom needs to let go of that pain. You will never have your ex-husband back. This is why you're bitter and old, and you're still not married, and he is. So I think it's very,
Don't
very
be shy,
sad.
Nikki.
No, and
I had to
also,
hide.
do you guys remember with Traci? It was right around when Vince's his alleged beating of Tamar started coming around, and sorry, I'm cleaning, so I'm out of breath. He had bit her finger. Do you guys remember that? And
I'm not going to respond.
Okay, well, let me say this, because I have a point to this.
Let me go
Let
off
me say
camera
this.
again.
It was right around that time. It was on the TV, and Tamar just said, "Yeah, it happened. That's what." And then they totally glossed over. Nobody was like outraged. I'm like, "What? He's physically abusing you?" Maybe 1 or 2 episodes after that, Traci was outside on a bench talking to, I think it was Towanda and the mom, or maybe it was just the mom.
I'm gonna end it because that's so touchy. I'm gonna end it.
Oh, I can't say it. Oh,
it's so touchy.
Oh, okay. I was positive. Okay,
so much.
Okay, well,
it's okay.
Maybe I'll say it on the next show.
Sound off. What are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, first I want to start off by verbally, forget writing it, verbally giving a 1 in the chat. Okay, definitely a 1 in the chat, because she definitely scarred those women up for life. Okay, and it's just sad. It's sad because personally, I've dealt with that. When my grandmother died, there's no excuse. When a loved one has passed on, it's no excuse for you not to show your respect. Because I remember my cousin was murdered, and my 2 cousins, they literally fist fought around when he passed. But when my grandmother died, I want to say a year or 2 later, all that was put aside. My cousin, who was estranged for 2 years, not only did she come, but she came up there and with my sister and spoken everything. So all that got to come to an end when it's time to pay your respect. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Totally.
That was Evelyn. Evelyn put a curse on me.
But yeah, Sharrell, that's all I was trying to say too, is that there's no reason. We've all dealt with deaths in our family. We know what it's like. Nobody's exempt from that pain, but you have to come together as a family and get through it. You can hate on the stepmom after, but it's for Traci. She planned that, and that was a shame that they didn't show up. Breaks my heart. That's so sad. I hope that never happens to me when I die. That is sad.
I pray it doesn't happen to me.
Like you said, she planned that, and it's almost a little different if they didn't know what was going on. But they've been able to kind of, I hate to say this, but process this for over a year, so they can't say, well, we don't know if this what Traci wanted, or the speculation. No, she laid it all out, so y'all should have honored her wishes.
100%. I'm with you.
All right, Buzz. Thank you so much for calling in, Nikki. You're so pretty. Love that picture.
Thank you, Miss Sharrell. Bye, AT2. You're so cute.
Bye.
Take care, guys. Okay. So I'm gonna end it here because I've gone over a half hour again. But what are your final words, AT2?
My final words. So Traci was known as on the show as the wannabe, and I just want to say, Traci, you were always somebody. You were never the wannabe. I hate that they put that label on you, that title on you. You were important, and you know you deserved way more respect in when you were here, and after your passing, you deserve way more respect. Rest in peace, Traci.
And I just wanted to say to Traci, I think you came in full circle. They might have left you at an early age to raise your son, and when it was successful, but you came into your own at the end. And I feel like you got the respect and the recognition that you deserve. I wanted to thank you for opening up your life to us, because it's not easy. And you had an amazing personality. And you know, I just, even though my heart goes out to you, Kevin Jr.
Yes.
And I just want to thank you, Traci. And we were all blessed,
right,
to get to share this time with you. Ooh,
and it's never too late to get the family back together. It's never too late.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
All right, HT2. Let's say bye on 3. 1, 2, 3. Bye, guys.
This is everybody.